And if you hate a passive main character, please don't read this book. I read 6 books in total, and the first book I read in October was We Love You Bunny, which is the sequel of Bunny. There is already a review video about this book, so I'll just keep it short about this one. Just like the first book, it has that eerie and weird vibe going on. Also, I think this one delves into each character's stories and the complexity of making art way more deeply. If you like the first one, I think there is already a high chance of you liking and enjoying this one. The next book I read is The Jasad Heir. The main character Sylvia survived the massacre of her royal family. After 10 years, she forms an alliance with her nemesis, the heir whose father was behind the killing. If she wins this upcoming contest with the help from this heir, she will get her freedom. Due to Sylvia's path, she feels uncomfortable to love and be loved by others. But her perception of love slowly changes with time. She realizes that healthy love protects and respects others. And this novel shows how one can become shattered and avoidant due to enormous responsibility without affection. Sylvia barely has a memory about her kingdom, but she feels an immense responsibility toward it. Her heart is full of guilt. The teacher who knew her real identity maximized her guilt to use Sylvia for her own gain. This experience completely crushed her heart and left a big trauma. She becomes avoidant of her true identity and her symbolic authority. She wants to escape who she is. This kind of conflict continues in the next book, The Jasad Crown. Sylvia finds herself in the center of a political upheaval. There are 4 perspectives throughout this book. Sylvia, the main character, Aaron, who is the nemesis of Sylvia, and 2 other characters. These perspectives work as an in-depth character study. Each perspective reveals detailed histories and feelings and thoughts about each character. Especially Aaron's obsession with perfection becomes understandable as his childhood memory is shared. However, I think the chapters about the other 2 characters could have been shortened or removed. Those chapters stalled the plot quite a lot. It felt like the story was forcing me to look around and to smell roses when there was a clear finish line ahead of me. However, this book is more than just a character study. The book portrays political conflicts beautifully. The intense struggle for authority within the same group is so vividly portrayed. Frustration, anger, and guilt during these conflicts are palpable. After finishing that fantasy theology, I moved on to a thriller book. The Compound is about a Lily who participates in this famous reality show. She hates everyday hassles and she wants to survive and win the show so she can get whatever she wants. The participants can get a variety of rewards. It can be food, it can be lipstick, it can be the sofa, it can really be whatever you want. However, to get those rewards, they have to do a certain action or say something. And because they cannot reveal what they're doing as their personal tasks, it is difficult to tell if the person is doing that action genuinely or not. It becomes so easy to treat other participants as tools for their rewards. Lily has decided to join this show because she couldn't afford any nice things with her salary. But in this show, she simply has to let go of her dignity. And then the product she has wanted will magically appear. With the ending, I personally thought it is too vague, but it didn't dampen the overall thrill from this novel. And if you hate a passive main character, please don't read this book. You might feel like you're eating dense bread without any milk. The octopus from the next book I read is the total opposite of Lily. Remarkably Bright Creatures is the story of a night cleaner at an aquarium and the octopus who lives there. The combination itself is already interesting. And there's one more interesting factor. The octopus helps the cleaner find closure with her son's passing away. The characters in this book make multiple mistakes or show their flaws. Still, they care about others and try their best to be kind. Imperfect yet kind can be their slogan. Interestingly, the smart octopus works as a magical solution for humans. So if you like a more realistic resolution for the main plot, you might not enjoy this character. On the other hand, if you're fond of magical realism, you will have a great time with it. The last book I read in October was the perfect one for Halloween. Annie, who has become 30-year-old and moves to a new rural town because she broke up with her boyfriend, meets this beautiful woman. But things around this woman becomes more and more suspicious and dark. The story has a dramatic character development. Annie has painfully weak boundaries. She doesn't know where to stop other people from directing her own life. To make matters worse, she doesn't feel like she is the one who deserves to be loved. she also feels anxious when things go too well. Why? Because she thinks she doesn't deserve it. It can be extremely frustrating to see this side of her personality. Like a mirror exposure, readers might find themselves in Annie, and that reflection can induce frustration. Even though Annie has been through a tough time, her sarcastic humor shines throughout the story. She often worries that she is making a terrible joke, but actually a lot of times she is quite witty. For example, she thinks, "I'm not scared of poltergeists or vampires or Freddy Krueger. I'm scared of real things, like economic recessions and dying alone." Also, this book has way less self-help book vibe compared to Play Nice, which is written by the same author. While Play Nice felt too forceful to relay the messages the author wanted, Cackle is more skillful with weaving its messages with Annie's growth. So those were the books I read in October. I hope you enjoyed this video. Catch you guys later. Bye!